Hey, welcome to Unity Denver, everybody. We are going to open up this service with a song, Spirit is in this place, because we know that wherever two or more are gathered, Spirit is surely among us. So if you know this song, please sing along. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Come here as we Welcome, Denise Rosier. Thank you so much. We are honored to have your spirit in this place today as our guest speaker and musician, so welcome. And welcome to all of you who are here this morning online or in person. We're glad that you've joined us. I want to just say that I guess we do have announcements. I'm trying to think how I want to do that. We have a special acknowledgement in the service as well. We're honoring our teachers, but I will go through our announcements first, and then we'll welcome our teachers and appreciate them as a community for all that they bring to our youth department and our Youth of Unity. So just a few things I want to remind you of after the service today. If you're watching online, Natalie's virtual lesson for the kids will be on Facebook. Am I on track here? Okay, we're good. So you can watch that on Facebook at 11:15 for those of you who are virtual. And second announcement is the garage sale, the encore of the garage sale. When CJ has a garage sale, she doesn't mess around, and she had leftovers from her June garage sale. So on September 18th, they'll be having another yard sale to benefit Unity Spiritual Center Denver, and information about that is on the website and in your newsletter. Should be on your screen, but it's all right. She lives on Dartmouth, just half a mile from here. So there it is, perfect. And she's looking for donations. If you have some stuff you'd like to get rid of, you can text her and make an arrangement to drop that off for her, as well as volunteers to help set it up and run the show that day. So thank you for considering that. Want to let you know also that Mark Ehrlichs, who we've hosted here before, is coming back to do a spiritual healing circle and an intuition workshop, spiritual healing and intuition workshop. Those are happening later in September. And then he's offering individual sessions for anyone who might want to have a counseling session or a healing session with him. So again, that's all on the website, in the newsletter, and on your screen. And there's still space. There's still a couple spots for the Fall Feminine Identity Retreat, which is next weekend. They leave next weekend on Friday. So if anyone has been on the fence, you've got to jump. Monica is here today, Monica McNulty. There she is. If you have any questions, you can see her. Yes, they're excited about that retreat. So if you're considering it, please talk to her today. And last but not least, we are still looking for another Unitine sponsor, we call them, teachers working with our middle school age children. And also, if you're interested in working in the children's garden, just supporting what goes on back there with the younger kids, they'd love to have more energy and more assistance back there as well. So you can talk to Lisa Yelnick or Natalie Simmons after the service, or certainly call them during the week. We'd love to talk to you about that possibility. So speaking of teachers, drum roll, come on up. Not the teachers just yet. Wait a minute. Natalie. Thank you.
So we wanted to recognize all of our teachers who have served in the last year and are serving in the current year. So if that's you, please come up. So these are just some of our teachers who have said yes to serving our youth. And we just want to acknowledge and appreciate you for saying yes and for showing up and for just teaching our kids. What you do is incredible. And the tools and the virtues and everything that you are helping them and giving them help them to navigate the last year and a half, and we'll continue to, they'll continue to use those tools throughout their whole life. So we just want to thank you, and we want to thank all of you at home who are teachers who were not able to be here. This goes out to you also. So we just wanted to give you a little token of appreciation. And like Trish said, we are looking for other volunteers, so we have a lot of fun back there. We're gonna play with rocks today. So if that is you, or if you're interested in it, I will not be here for much longer, but you can talk to Lisa, and she'll be more than willing to help.
Thank you so much. Come this way, please. Come this way so you don't have to go over all the, there we go. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so as we settle into our service, I just invite us all to affirm our creed that we say every Sunday when we come together as a anchor into what we are about here, what we believe, and what we hold to be true. And so I ask you to claim that with me now. Our God is love, our race is human, our faith is oneness. And now I'm going to ring the singing bowl that's tuned to our heart chakra, tuned to F, and that just opens up. I invite you to let this sound open up your heart, relax your mind. And I want to announce and welcome up Christy Dewick, who is participating in our service. This morning she will be leading our opening prayer and our closing prayer.
And so we just allow that chakra that has been activated within all of our hearts to breathe us, to remind us that in this moment, we have answered the call to come together today in the name of spiritual community, in the name of God, in the name of love, light, wholeness, as the beloved itself. So whether you're sitting in this room with us, whether you're watching us online, allow yourself that holiest of invitations to lean into that presence that is so alive and well within each one of us, and say yes. Yes to the goodness of God as the very life that I am, that you are, that we are as spiritual community. Yes to the knowingness that whatever unfolds in this service this morning, that we together are creating that experience of God. And so we open our hearts to that truth, to the giving and the receiving of love, of divine wisdom, and the knowingness that exactly the right message, exactly the right healing, exactly the right lesson and wisdom is finding home in our hearts so that we move forward into this day as the very essence and beingness of God itself. So in that truth, I know and proclaim that this service is good. I know and proclaim the gratitude that we all hold for all of the hands and hearts that came together today to make this possible. And I know that you join me in sending infinite love and peace and gratitude to Reverend David, wherever he may be this morning, knowing indeed that we are in good hands, just as he is in our good hearts. And so with that, we know this morning is good and blessed, and together what we say, and so it is.
Good morning. It is so fantastic to be with you all again today. You guys look great. You look like you've been working out. It is good to see you, though, and I am so grateful to Reverend David for giving me this morning to share with you. If you follow him on Facebook or Instagram, you know that he is in just some beautiful country. So we send him our love, and again, I am just super excited to be with you. I'm going to sing a song for you first before I start, and I just invite you to hold these words in your heart as sort of an affirmation this morning. I live and breathe love, holy and divine. I live and breathe love, and its life is mine. It's the power that makes me whole. It's the joy that moves my soul. I live and breathe love. It's the power that moves my soul. It's the joy that fills my soul. I live and breathe love. I live and breathe love. Won't you affirm those words with me this morning? I live and breathe love. I live and breathe love. We live and breathe love because we are love. And that's what brings us together on Sunday mornings. And some of you might come once a month. Some of you might come every Sunday. Some of you are joining us online. Some of you come to serve, and some of you come to be supported. There's somebody out among us today who needs a friend. And there is somebody among us who is desperate for a change. And there is somebody among us who is so filled with joy and happiness that they had to just come and drop it in community. But what I know is I have been coming to this community for 5 years now. And every time I'm here, this body lives and breathes love. So we live and breathe love because we are love. We are love because God is love. If you read the scriptures, 1 John 4:8 says, "He who does not know love doesn't know God, because God is love." We live and breathe the very essence of the great force of love that underlies all of existence. Did you catch that? We live and breathe the great force of love that underlies all of existence. Does that make you feel powerful? It does. It makes me feel powerful. When you read the scriptures, it's interesting to me how many times we are referred to as beloved. And if you take the word beloved and you separate them, You have be loved. So essentially, we are called what we are called to be. We are the beloved ones called to be loved. And don't we just know that when everything is going well, when everything in our life is just moving on all cylinders, we recognize that we are the beloved ones. We are loved. God is for us. All things are working for our good. We go out into the day with clarity and purpose. Sometimes you see those people, it might be one of you who is sitting there in Starbucks, gazing out the window, visioning. You got that special coffee that you made up yourself. And some of us are these great founts of inspiration and wisdom, and we have to post them on Facebook all the time. You see those memes. But what happens when things aren't going as planned? What happens when you think you're moving down the right track and you look down and you run out of track? You think your path is so clear, and then you wake up one day and you are in uncharted territory. And that clear path is rocky and weedy, and there's just trees everywhere. Or that great shower of blessings in your life now feels like a drought. When was the last time I felt blessed? What then? Are we no longer the beloved ones at that time? Of course we are. But I can tell you just personally how quickly I can go from feeling like the beloved one to feeling like the one who wants answers. What happened? Where's God in this? I thought God and I were like this. And now it feels like we're like this. And I've gotten to a point where I'm starting to feel a little bit like this. And I want to talk to the manager. Right? But the truth is, really, we are always like this with God. We are always like this with the universe. When I finished writing I Live and Breathe Love, what usually happens when I write a song is the song just keeps playing over and over and over in my head. And that's how I know if a song is done, because my brain won't start substituting words or changing the lyric or the rhymes. And when it just keeps playing over and over, I know that song is finished. And I looked at myself one day when the song was driving me insane, and I thought, what does that mean? I live and breathe love. What do I mean when I say that? I live and breathe love. I live and breathe every day. I never stop breathing. So, in the good times and the hard times, what does it mean that I live and breathe this great force of love that underlies all of existence? What does it mean that I'm the beloved one? And I can tell you that this last 18 months of COVID was particularly hard on me. It knocked the wind out of me in my career, professionally. It knocked the wind out of me emotionally, and it was super hard to climb back out. So what I want to do this morning is I want to share with you what I learned about living and breathing love and what that means to me, what I understand of that. And I hope that it will give you a bigger view when you think about it, when you look at yourself in the mirror in the morning and you say, what do I mean that I live and breathe love? That's what I want to share with you this morning. And what I realize is divine love and support isn't only displayed in double rainbows and shooting stars. The universe being for us at all times does not only appear when we have these awesome opportunities that appear or these big wins. Those are the big upward swings that are so easy for us to identify. We just look straight ahead and we see them. We see them, we recognize them, we give thanks for them, and we affirm God is for us. But it's not just those, all things working for our good isn't just the amazing, awesome things. All things working for our good is all the things, all the time. It's not just looking straight ahead at these things, these awesome things we've manifested. It's a 360-degree view so that we catch everything all the time. So I want to give you some new ways of looking and some new tools for identifying, for seeing the evidence of all the things that are working for you in your life. I heard a story a little while ago, and it was about this ministerial student. She was early on in her studies, and she went through a rather traumatic event. And what happened was she encountered this woman who was having a seizure. And when she had the seizure, she fell down and she cracked her head open. So the ministerial student waited with her until the ambulance came. And she rode with her in the ambulance. She went to the hospital with her. Turned out the woman did not have any family. So she sat with her and prayed with her and ministered to her. And the woman passed away. And that was devastating to this woman who was so young in her studies. It was so traumatic for her that she had to have her mentors and her teachers come and just kind of help her through it. And later, the ministerial student was reading this article about this organization that was doing some good out in the world. And they said, we could see the hand of God at work. And she said that she just threw down that article. And she said, I don't get it. I've been faithful. I've done everything I was supposed to do. How come I don't feel like I see the hand of God? And she went for a walk. And she said that while she was walking, Spirit spoke to her and put this on her heart. And it said, just because you don't see the hand of God doesn't mean it's not working. Sometimes you have to look for the fingerprints. And I thought about that, and I thought about what those fingerprints would mean to me. And it was two things. One is that fingerprints we usually think of as evidence or clues that somebody was there. And if you ever want to know how that works, all you need is a sliding glass door and a toddler. You don't need to see their bodies to know that they were all over the place. The other thing is fingerprints. Our fingerprint is unique to us. So when I think about the fingerprints that appear in our lives and how the divine works, it is as unique as a fingerprint. What I might report as some amazing blessing that occurred in my life is going to be different than what you report and what it feels like and what you report. The lessons that we need to learn in our lives are unique to all of us, and the way that we need to learn them, unique to all of us. So, what are these fingerprints? How do they show up? How do we tie this over to how the divine works? Well, all of us know the story of unanswered prayers, and some of them are usually funny, right? It's like that crush that we had in high school. Oh, God, if I could just be with that person. I don't want anything else. I never ask for anything else. I just want to be with them. And it doesn't ever happen. And we're heartbroken. And we carry that torch for 25 years right into our high school reunion. And we see them, and we go, wow, bullet dodged, right? So glad that didn't work out. Or there's that job or that promotion that we really wanted, and it didn't happen. And then down the road, an opportunity opens up or a job opens up, and we go, thank God I didn't take that job, because I wouldn't be where I am right now. Or sometimes a change in path of our lives is so confusing at one time, and it leads to a life that is richer and fuller. But the thing about all of these scenarios is we couldn't have known what a blessing they were until we looked back. It was that hindsight. When we look back and we realized God knew what it was doing all the time. God knew what the answers were. God knew what the path was. And we look back and we see it's just full of fingerprints. One of my favorite stories is the story of David and Goliath. And if you don't know that story, it's a story about a young shepherd boy who defeats this giant. And a lot of corporate team building, schools, advertising loves to use the story of David and Goliath as the little guy who defeats the big guy, the outsider who overcomes adversity. But I think the best part of David and Goliath actually happens before David meets Goliath. And what happens in the story is David is just this teenage guy who is a shepherd. And he's sitting on this, just picture him sitting on this mountain. He's watching his little sheep roll around, walk around. And this tiger comes. And David says, and I struck the tiger and I killed him. And I saved my sheep. And then he's sitting there a little while longer, and a bear comes. And David says, and I struck the bear, and I killed him. Now, at that point, if I was David, I would have quit being a shepherd, because I would have thought, there is so much more to this shepherding than there's a lot more going on here than I realized, and it's super dangerous. But David, he kept doing it, okay? He could have said, I don't know what's happening here. Why is God putting me in this situation? Is God mad at me or something? What has happened? I'm just a shepherd. I'm just trying to be a shepherd. Well, what happens is Goliath comes to town. And Goliath is this giant Philistine. And he comes to town and he says, okay, here's how it's going down. I'm paraphrasing the Bible. He says, here's how it goes. If any of you can defeat me, I'm going to let you go. But if I defeat you, then you are my servants forever. Goliath is a giant. None of the guys in the village want to take him on. Nobody. David says, I'll do it. And, you know, there's like this collective eye roll. Okay, David. So imagine the big day comes and they're supposed to fight each other. It's like total cage match. And there's David in his shepherd outfit and his slingshot. And there's Goliath. I don't know, he's 8 feet, 9 feet tall. He's got his armored head thing, his breastplate, sword. He has armored shin guards and that skirt, right? And he's standing there. And Saul comes out and he says, David, what are you doing? What makes you think you're going to be able to defeat Goliath? And David says, dude, I defeated a lion and I took on a bear. This guy is going down just like those did. God has prepared me for this moment. Sometimes, what seems like a hard time is just life preparing us to be used in ways in the future that we cannot see right now. Sometimes, life is refining us, and what we're experiencing is transformative. Sometimes a change in path is just a bridge to something greater. But all the time, God is for us. When you can't see the hand of God, look for the fingerprints. Because all the time, you are the beloved ones, called to be loved. All the time, you live and breathe love. All the time. It's that great force of love that underlies all of existence. And so when you're not sure, when you're feeling a little bit lost, I want to invite you to look at your fingerprints. Look at your fingertips and ask yourself, how am I being supported right now? What work is being done right now to prepare me for something greater? If I look through God's eyes, how do I see the evidence that divine power is loving me through this time? Because sometimes we are going to be holding on to these fingerprints by our fingernails. But all things work for our good. All the things. If the hand of God isn't obvious, look for the fingerprints. We live and breathe love all the time. And so it is. And so I want to right now invite you to follow me into meditation. And just make yourself comfortable. And take a deep breath in and release it. Take a deep breath and release it. And while you're breathing there, just tell yourself, affirm, I live and breathe love. And feel yourself supported by the chair that you're sitting in, by this floor beneath you, by these walls around you, by the sound of my voice that knows so much love and good for you. While you breathe, listen to the words of Spirit expressing love for you, calling you beloved. All the power in that. You are the beloved one, called to be loved. And I want you to see yourself walking toward a pane of glass. And as you approach this pane of glass, you notice that it's starting to reflect scenes of all of the blessings that appear in your life. Maybe it was this morning. Maybe it was this week. But this pane of glass is just reflecting just blessing upon blessing, amazing opportunities that have arisen, big wins, and just amazing times that have just unfolded. You see the reflection of things that you manifested. And then you start to see the reflection of times when you were stronger than you thought. You were braver than you thought. You were reminded at just the right moment that you were loved, just when you needed it. Just spend a little bit of time watching and reflecting. And now you look at those things and you give thanks for all of those moments and all of that reflection. And you start to step away. And as you step away from that pane of glass, you see fingerprints all over. If you look a little bit closer, you realize those are your fingerprints. Yours. You live and breathe love. You live and breathe love. And you affirm that to yourself. I live and breathe love. And any time that you need to be reminded, you can go back to that pane of glass because that's yours, your fingerprints, and you can revisit them. The beloved one, called to be loved.
And so let us together move right into that place of the highest, holiest call, prayer. I live and breathe love in that presence of God that is undeniable, as do you. And so today, we realize that God's greatest gift to us is itself, and God's greatest gift to itself is us. And we accept that invitation, that gift, to be loved for the goodness that we are, as unique and individual as our fingerprints. And so the only call, the only ask that we answer today is that willingness to allow ourselves to experience love in the asking of whatever it is that we may need today, in the honoring of whatever it is that our deepest prayers within our hearts are calling for, in the doings, in the beings, whether in community or by ourselves. We say yes because we know that that presence of God is alive and well, and that we, by our very existence, are the very truth of God itself. So let us give thanks for this morning, for this service, for all of the lessons and wisdom and answers prayers that our hearts have had the courage to receive. And let us hold them tight and make them our own, nourishing them, blessing them, and allowing them to take root in our very being. And so with that, I know that this day is blessed for each and every one of us. We allow that goodness of God to simply be at home in the very hearts of who we are. And with that, we come together as one and say, and so it is.
And again, I just want to thank you for sharing this Sunday morning with me. It is always so great to see you and to be with you. So I look forward to seeing you again next time. And I'm going to move over here.
Yes, thank you. That was such an inspiring lesson. Christy, I didn't give you a fair introduction. Your last name vanished, and I was panicked to see it. So Christy is, well, it's important, not only the wife of Denise Rosier, but also a CSL practitioner. And so thank you for blessing us with your prayer consciousness this morning. I really, really appreciate it. This is the time in our service where we honor and bless our love offerings. I know we don't pass a basket around anymore, and many of you are giving electronically online. There are baskets in the back if you'd like to drop your check or cash off on the way out. That's certainly appreciated as well. So we continue to give thanks for the continued financial support of this ministry. And together, let us bless our love offering. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am thankful. We get to hear your voice again.
here I am. Use me now. Do your will, speak your word, touch the weak, heal the world. I am love. I am love. All along, I have known I'm the branch, you're the tree. There's no want, there's no need. Intertwined, heart and soul aligned. I know you by name, beloved one. Nothing will ever come between us. You are all I've ever known. You're the lover of my soul, Holy One. How you fill my every thought. Everything in me is you. Everything in me is truth, beloved one. You lift me up and I let go. There is no fear where I stand. Holy ground is where I am. Look what you've made. Strong and brave. And you call me by name. Beloved one. Nothing will ever come between us. You are all I've ever known. You're the lover of my soul, Holy One. How you fill my every thought. Everything in me is you. Everything in me is truth, beloved one. Beloved one, nothing will ever come between us. You are all I've ever known. You're the lover of my soul, Holy One. How you fill my every thought. Everything in me is you. Everything in me is truth, beloved one. Nothing will ever come between us. Everything in me is you. Everything is truth, beloved one. Beloved one.
Thank you so much, Denise. You know how when you were little and your dad would take care of you, you would have ice cream for breakfast? Well, the men's group is offering root beer floats after the service outside. So yeah, you just go out the east doors here, you can grab a root beer float. And we are looking for creative ways to keep some sort of fellowship and community going, even though we're trying to do that safely. So if you have any ideas or want to offer something like that, just talk to a staff or council member. We'd love to see what you come up with, but grab your root beer float on your way out. So thank you all for being here. Thank you again, Denise and Christy, Martha, Scott and Nick. And we will close our service together by, I'll have you stand actually, so we can say the prayer for protection together. And Denise will actually close us out with one more song, Joy in My Day. But together we will claim the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. Amen.
And this song is going to be a super simple song, so I just want to invite you to all still stand, and I'm going to lead you through this song, Joy in My Day. And let this just be our anthem as we get ready to move out into our week, knowing that we are blessed, proclaiming joy in every day. Love in the words I say. Love in the words I say. Peace in the world I make. Peace in the world I make. God in every breath I take. God in every breath I take. Joy in my day. Joy in my day. Love in the words I say. Love in the words I say. Peace in the world I make. Peace in the world I make. God in every breath I take. God in every breath I take. Joy in my day. Joy in my day. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. We are lifted up. We are lifted up. We are lifted up higher. Oh, bless you guys. Have a wonderful Sunday. I'll see you next time.